This is Earl Amin with the 2020 Foresight Podcast, where CEOs of small to global companies share their insights. It is 6 questions in 9 minutes because top CEOs know how to listen and be concise. So let's get to it. First of all, welcome. And in just a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Thank you, Earl. My name is Bill Eckstrom, and who I am, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a therapy dog trainer and worker, I'm a coach, I'm a mentor. Earl, I'm obsessed with growth. I'm eternally curious and exploring new ways to always search for inner peace for myself. And what I do is, how do I say it? I help people get to places they couldn't otherwise achieve as CEO of EcSell Institute, EcSell Sports, and now EcSell Education.
Outstanding. You carry quite a full bag, as they say. Indeed. So with all of that, what's the best thing about being the CEO of your company?
You know, this would probably evolve through the years, and where I'm at right now, I would tell you I now as CEO have the opportunity to ask more questions and give advice. That I think is a power as CEOs. We have a tendency to not accurately or not effectively portray. We think we always have to be the ones to make the best decisions, and it's not. We can never be as wise as the collective wisdom of the people on our team. So I think our ability to ask questions is really the best thing about being CEO now.
I've only heard 1 or 2 people speak to that, but I agree with you 100%.
Well, thank you.
And as well, I hear from other CEOs that leading their team and all of that dynamics included and being able to see the road ahead can be a challenge. Would you agree?
Sure. Yes, absolutely. But again, I think this is part and parcel to what we were just visiting about, Earl. I think not enough attention. I mean, most every CEO or that I know, or president of a company that I know, executive, they're looking at products, they're looking at markets, they're looking at, strategies, and they need to spend just as much, arguably more attention on the people using that same wisdom, that same foresight to the people on their team.
Mm-hmm.
How will that evolve? What does that look like down the road? So I think that needs to continue to move in that direction, if that makes sense.
Oh, yes, indeed. Indeed. And that said, because that was a mouthful of wisdom there, what piece of insight do you want to share with other CEOs?
I think I'll back up, Earl, to what I had before.
Mm-hmm.
Ask more questions than you give advice.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, again, that says about where seek to understand, not to tell. Be inquisitive, because that says more about a leader or a coach than anything else. And there's benefits to that people a lot of times don't even understand. By asking questions, people can self-discover. By asking questions, people can own it. They're more apt to do things, they're more apt to follow through. They have confidence. It builds psychological safety in teams. So I think that is my piece of advice.
Again, I cannot disagree with you, even if I wanted to. It's proven to be true. So again, well, what other successful CEOs, like yourself, would you like to acknowledge and should be on my podcast?
In our book, this sounds like a shameless plug, but it's not. Well, it kind of is, but it's not. The coaching effect. I wrote about a gentleman in there who in the book is named Mitch, and Mitch was an executive and one of my first, well, not my first boss, but certainly the one for whom I had the greatest respect and the one that had the largest influence on my life. And the reason why is because he continually, here we go, asked questions again. He challenged, he loved. And there's an L word that so many people are afraid to use in the workplace. He cared about me deeply. And because he cared about me deeply, he was going to push me. He was going to challenge me. He was going to make me earn what I got. And I didn't want to let him down.
Yeah.
And I'd be happy to introduce you to him.
And I would be honored to meet him, indeed, and have him on the podcast. So for the final question, Bill, how do you celebrate a win?
Earl, it would depend on what the win is. When I take my dog, I have a Labrador Retriever, and she's a therapy dog. When I take her into the hospital and she gets to sit on the bed of a small child, likely that win will be celebrated by buying her a big bone and me just getting back in the car, holding her, the dog, and probably shedding a tear or two. There's celebrating a win in business, which I'm probably not very good at, because the next question is always what's next. And I'm not, that is an area where I should improve. There's celebrating win can be by offering yourself more grace, being more kind to yourself. And that's probably what I've learned to do more than anything else. So I think we need to broaden the way we look at a win. And if I can be more kind to myself, if I can give myself to others, help people get to places they couldn't get to without me in their life, those are all wins.
Well, Bill, it's been a pleasure having you on. Tell me, how can people find you?
Thank you for that opportunity, by the way, Earl. Our company is, the primary company is called EcSell Institute, and that's EcSell Institute.com. So that's our website. I have BillEckstrom.com as well. Either of those, I'm on LinkedIn under Bill Eckstrom. I'm on Instagram under, I think, Eckstrom WL, and on Twitter. So I do use some social media. And I always respond to everybody that reaches out to me. I respond. So anytime anybody wants to connect and ask me a question or banter about something, I will engage. So thank you for that opportunity.
You're most welcome. This is Earl Amin with the 2020 Foresight Podcast. For more insights, go to LinkedIn and search for The Gray Owl Company. Bill, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Earl.